guard. So remember, the number one thing you do is lock your ankles, squeeze those knees. Immediately starts to restrict their breathing. Same time, I'm grabbing their head and the back of their tricep. If I don't do that, they're just gonna sit up and punch you in the face. So this is what I want to avoid, keeping it here. If she tries to sit up, well now I'm holding her in the front like a backpack. So the goal here is to isolate one wrist. Because you guys are on that side, I'll switch up sides. So I'm gonna control the wrist here. Remember, I don't want to grab with the thumb because she can basically yank her arm out. Put back down. If I do it like this, go ahead. At least I'm gonna have an opportunity to grab. The goal here is just to keep a nice monkey paw, controlling the head. So keep this, almost like you're pushing it aside. That way I have all this space to fill the gap. Now, before I reach over, my first thing I do, keep the head tight. Left foot goes to the floor. The second I do that, I'm basically gonna be pushing my body up at the same time, pulling her head to the side. So that's how I really do it on a person. Come back, so we're here, foot to the side. Pull, I come over her shoulder. Keep this leg on the back, keep this knee right in the hip. Under, same thing, no thumb, grabbing here. The second that I lock these up, keep that arm close to your chest. Then I'm basically gonna bring my right leg sideways on her body, and at the same time, I'm gonna kind of turn myself sideways also here. So now I'm not in front of her no more, now I'm at a T. And notice how I'm keeping my knees locked, keeping everything tight. This just keeps her from standing up. That's the number one thing. And I keep the elbow tight to my chest, keeping the grips, and again, keep the arm 90 degrees. If she starts to extend, well then now the lock's not gonna work and she can fight out. But if I keep it bent, go ahead and get that arm free. Every second right now she's fighting, I'm waiting for her to get tired, no problem. Obviously you can hear in my voice, it's really not me straining at all. It's gonna be about 10 seconds. Then, keep that elbow tight to the chest. You can stop 5 seconds. Keep the elbow here, and then I just bring her hand towards her head. That's it. Now, like I was telling you, a lot of times if they're stronger, this ain't going to be as easy. They're going to grab their pants, they're going to grab your pants, they're going to grab something, making this harder. So that's when I keep this arm. This foot right here on the floor is going to allow me to push myself up onto this forearm. Notice how I kind of funneled my hand in here, just like this, grabbing her wrist. So I went from here to here. So I keep the arm, putting up myself on my forearm just like this. Now what I don't want to do is try to turn straight over because that's a lot of pressure on my back. Also gives her a chance to fight. If she just sinks her hips that way, now I'm kind of battling, risking hurting my back. What I'm gonna do, first, sit up into her and then turn her over. That's called a Kimura sweep. Come back over. So the submission is on a Kimura. First thing you do is control the head, controlling the arm, keeping these things tight. If I'm squeezing here, her focus is there. So this is where I'm going from here. Keeping it tight, foot, push, grab. Coming right back, turning myself sideways, elbow to the chest, 90 degree. Slowly put the hand to the head. If they grab something, anything, and you can't yank it, my hand goes from here to here, pushing myself into her. So from here, I'm gonna kind of extend my arm. When I extend my arm, see how I'm kind of sitting up? And then all I'm gonna do is kick my left leg that way. Bam. I go straight to the mount, and now we're here. So from here, a couple of submissions we can do. First one I can do is the arm triangle, which we've done before. So I'm gonna simulate punches. Those hands come up to block, which is extremely common. The second they do, go ahead, they're here. Push this arm across her neck, here. See, now I got like a front headlock. I want her arm right under her chin. The second that arm comes across, my hand is under her head. I'm gonna put my right ear on her right ear. Now that arm's trapped. Then I'm gonna lock my hands up, gable grip, which is palm to palm. So all my pressure and weight is right on her arm, keeping my head here. That locks her arm in place. Then I'm gonna come off of her. On the same side, I have the arm here. Then I'm just gonna flatten myself, driving my right shoulder into that arm, and I'm just gonna squeeze like a pillow. That's the arm triangle. Another thing I can do from here, same thing, when I'm punching, they put their hands up to block. Now I'm gonna go for the arm bar on one arm. Outside arm, here, inside arm here, like I'm giving her CPR. Putting my weight right on her chest. She's my wife, so I can do this to her. So make sure you keep this arm, keep it nice and tight. Even if you get your hips up into it, that way she can't pull that arm out. She's still gonna be pushing. This is her goal. Otherwise, I'm punching her. So I'm not having to worry about putting her arm here. It's gonna happen. If she doesn't, then you just punch him out. But I'm here. Then what I'm gonna do is kind of give her like a compression and turn myself like that. Put all my weight on her. This is called S-guard. Making an S with my legs. So how you do that, put all the weight here, kind of lift myself up. And then I'm gonna lean to my right. What that allows me to do is turn this hip inward, bringing this leg here. What it also allows me to do is sit down, keeping this arm tight. I want my hip right under her shoulder. So I'm here. Once I got the arm here, now I'm just gonna grab 2-on-1. We're just kind of holding that arm tight. This leg is gonna come over her head. Instead of just trying to do this, because that will happen, just kind of lean to the right, leg slips in, then come back over. Thumb, I want her thumb facing the ceiling because the elbow is what I want to pop up. So once her thumb's facing the ceiling, I'm grabbing 2-on-1, my heels pressed right into her body. Then I squeeze my knees, putting pressure on the shoulder. Keep your knees pinched, keep the hand right here on the chest. All you do is nice and slow, lift your hips up, put the pressure here. One more time. None of these are gonna work unless you set it up with punches, obviously. Boom, boom, boom. They're pushing their hands up. Whether it's your face, chest, whatever, they're giving you their arm. One hand on the outside, one hand on the inside. I push myself up and turn to my butt. S-guard. This leg right here just kind of folds here. This one nestles right under. I'm keeping it nice and tight. That way she can't sneak this arm out. And I'm controlling the arm 2-on-1 now. However I want to grab it is really up to you. I just like to keep it nice and tight like you're hugging it. Even if you grab the wrist, you grab the elbow, 2 joints. And then again, when you bring this leg over, the best, easiest way to do it is lean to her hip. Makes it this much easier to come over the head. Then bring the arm over. Keep that hand to your stomach, her thumb facing the ceiling. Squeeze the knees right on that shoulder. That tightens it already. She can feel this. Then keep your feet right until her hip, feet flat. Keep the hand on the chest. Lift those hips. One more from side control, which is this position where we start on the dummy. So we're here. This is where you really want to be. One hand under the head, one hand grabbing the arm. And I'm flat. Right now I'm 140. Now I'm 240. Just flattening, making her carry my weight. So the goal right now is, of course, to work an arm lock. So number one thing person's gonna do is either hold you, which just makes it easier to start raining elbows, or they're gonna get this arm and try to push you up, which is very common. Once they do that, that's when, oh, bam, here. I'm gonna grab her arm, pushing it down. It's not really here trying to muscle it, using my whole body. Now the hand under their head is gonna grab here. Same thing, thumb out. This hand, they're gonna come under the arm, same thing here. This is the opposite of the Kimura, this is called an Americana. Once I got the grip here, now I'm gonna let my elbow out here, put it right next to her head. That way I push her head away. Then from here, all I'm gonna do is keep her hand flat. Hand placed flat on the mat, and I'm just gonna slowly paint her hand across the floor, like that. As I do that, I kind of lift her elbow. Now this lock right here is very strong, but if they're strong, they're gonna extend their arm. Once they extend their arm, I follow. Then this wrist comes under their elbow, thumb up. Now I'm grabbing here. Now the lock comes from me lifting my right wrist, just like that. Now from here, if they fight this way, then I grip here, here, until it's a Kimura from this position. This one right here is my favorite. When I'm here, I'll fight, I'll yank it up. This is hard to finish here. So what I like to do, step over the head, and finish that arm there. One more time, all three. So I'm here, pushing into my neck, I drop it, bam, grip it with this hand under the head. Then I come under, grab here. Then take the elbow out, immediately put it on the other side of her head. Keep the palm, keep her knuckles on the mat. Slowly, very slowly pull it down and lift the elbow. There's not much more than a couple inches if everything is tight. Then, if she's strong, which a lot of people will, just extend that arm, follow it. Make sure the thumb is up, your wrist is under her elbow, gripping right on the inside here. Keep this flat and just lift your wrist. All I'm doing here is this. That's putting pressure on the elbow. The only other option for her is either go back, in which case I'll go back to this, or turn it this way, and then from here I'll just switch my grip here, coming back to that one we did from the bottom. And you can finish it here if you just pull and lift back. But again, a lot of the times they're strong, they're gonna grab something. So what I like to do is step over the head, yank it off, and finish the arm. That's a lot. Those are a lot of submissions.